Hey there, y'all. This is Hades, and today we're discussing Ragnarok Apocalypse, Chapter 4. I am so sorry, Celtic. Gaia Bolg. I am so sorry. I know I mispronounced that, alright? But this chapter, well, let's get right into it, shall we? I got quite a bit to say about it. But yeah, first off, we get some history lesson of Morgan and Ku and their story of their legends, and again, a pretty neat summary of what they've done, what their achievements are. As there are many versions of different variations, as many as there are narrators that have told these stories. Nevertheless, there are also exists a truth that the only who stared in these myths and legends know so far. So yeah, we get many different tales of this about what's going to happen, what's going on with the story. Not sure, but we get an idea. All right, what's going on here? As we get Morgan there just smiling as she says, "You still have more, isn't that right, Hound? You're the only wearer that's ever managed to best me." Well, no, let's talk about that just for a bit. I don't think when we see Ku here when he uses his log thing, his log attack. I don't think that's what he used against Morgan because that's supposed to be a definitive defeat, unless you know who is still alive at the end. Who I'm not. Come on, you all know Raw. Raw has to be defeated, right? Killed. If he's not, if Ku didn't kill him, then he's defeated, and that's more like okay, Raw's unable to fight. Okay, that's fine. I'm actually would be fine with that. All right, but let's continue on, shall we? As right there, yeah, Raw's just wondering how in the world is Ku able to do this? How is he able to just keep being alive? And as he's wondering, what else he should be able to do, we see a massive fist come right by Raw, but that's not actually there. It's just showing an actual beast that's emerging from Ku, ready to fight. And right there, Raw knew, okay, yeah, something terrible is happening here. As Ku gets his log, as his body gets bigger and gets ready to chuck it, Raw's like, okay, what, like, he's gonna throw it, but what should be my next counter move? As we get a bunch of other gods' reactions to this, as Ku just throws his log. God blog. I am so sorry. I do not mean to mispronounce it. I'm just forgive me. As he does that, then the narration goes into saying, in just a brief instant, before it struck, the decision taken by Ra was to free his maximum power. Dodge. As Ra just immediately just dodges because he realizes, yeah, if he takes his hit, it's probably going to do some major, major damage. As he does that, but he feels a dark aura right behind him as he turns around, and the narration continues. But while that was supposed to be have avoided, Ku had jumped without being seen, thanks to his first throw of that being so fast, and he prepared to throw it once again. The second that was the throw, as we see his foot come and just kick his log down, just as the Uther Cycle says, the cursed spear that always hits and kills. Ga Brog, the meaning of its name. Belly spear as he hits him. You see just the stomach of the log just starting to swell up as pretty weird looking as the narration continues. That isn't the name attributed directly to the spear. Goldblog is, in other words, as the log just shatters into so many pieces and rains down on Raw, destroying his own weapon and turning its fragments into unavoidable projectiles. This is the name of the ultimate technique thrown by the demigod Chu Cathulian. And right there, Ra uses Prominence Field, maximum output, just fire a massive blast out of his chest as hard as he could, but it just doesn't work. The spear's already right there, hitting him point blank as it's that. Once it has been thrown, could neither be dodged nor blocked. In any tale from any narrator that tells of the user's cycle, there is always something in common about it. It's the cursed spear that always hits and always kills. We'll get to that, alright? The next chapter will decide, but we'll get to it. As we see a bunch of characters' reactions to the spear, Raw's fangirls are freaking out. Zeus and Sun Wukong are smiling, and Morgan has a big old grin on her face. As right there, yeah, it's announced. Raw lost the fight. The name of this technique is Bolg. It's all over. First match, first round, Kulian versus Raw Hakatri. Match duration 15 minutes and 13 seconds. Winning technique, Bolg. Winner, Kulian. And yeah, next match is Sun Wukong versus Prometheus, so that's gonna be pretty cool. Oh boy, I did not like it. I did not like how this fight concluded. It was a neat technique what Ku was able to do with that technique of just throwing the spear or his log and kicking it and having it erupt to a bunch of weapons. That's actually a really cool idea. But he loses his weapon after that. But after that, it's like you really need a weapon, you know. So that was pretty cool. But just because you're able, like, it hits your target, like Raw, but Raw has his divine weapon as a suit that's protecting him, not just a defense, but also fires. And I don't think he's dead at this point because we would probably more than likely see that he died, and we also see that Morgan, she's probably fought Ku in that form and got hit by it and lived, unless she got defeated before he was able to achieve that form, or he lost that weapon and she fought him in that form and he beat her. That's the only reason I could see. But if he does turn on the next chapter, Raw's dead, I am not going to be happy with that whatsoever. Him defeated by it, because again, Raw just completely annihilates. And I don't like. I could buy the fact that the spear just went straight through the flame and hit Raw, right? But the fact that Raw completely how would I say this? This feels like a more this feels like a cheaper version of how do I say, Poseidon versus Kojiro, where Kojiro is able to, like, as much as Poseidon was just so much more powerful than Kojiro, but we did see Kojiro did manage to get some hits on Poseidon until Poseidon just would just amp his power up more and just completely dominate Kojiro. And then at the end, we know what happens in that fight, right? This would seem like if Kojiro landed no hits on Poseidon whatsoever, then was able to deal the finishing blow. Like, that's how it seemed to me. I could be wrong. Maybe I've read this chapter a few days ago. I've been thinking about it, and it just hasn't settled well with me. But in time, depending how the next chapter goes, I could probably raise the score up, because I'll be giving this chapter again. It's not bad, mosquito. It's not bad. I just wasn't a fan of it, but again, I recognize that it's good. So I'll give it 8 out of 10. Actually, a pretty dang good chapter. But again, just because it's good doesn't mean I like it. I just want to let you guys know that just because I try to be as objective as possible. I just want to show you that I'm objective. I didn't like this chapter, but I'm gonna rate it high because it was actually pretty good, even though I really didn't like it. And I do hope we get some more explanation on the next chapter on how Raw's doing. Because if Raw's dead, then I'm not gonna like it. But okay, but if Raw died and Morgan faced it, and she lived, no, I will not be happy with that whatsoever. But yeah, that concludes my review. If you listen this far, I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great day and take care.